Welcome. Dewo is an Igbo Nigerian word that means greetings, but has a deeper meaning. Ndo, ewo, long life to you all. The fact that you are here today and walking amongst the living, suffice it to say, it means that my prayer for you to continue the ability to inhale and exhale is working beautifully. I'm Dr. Owanyo, and I'm your host for Ntomodo Show. May I reiterate that Ntomodo is Igbo Nigerian word for words of wisdom. Wisdom that I and my guests share that you can add to your repertoire. Thank you for the generosity of trust, welcoming me into your visual and auditory space to have a didactic conversation about a matter that I truly believe you will find interesting and of utmost importance. I grant you that I will make your welcome, myself and my guests will make your welcome worth your while. Thank you for being here. The Ntomodo has nuggets each time that we have a show. So we have a nugget for today. And it is a Somali proverb. It states, "He who does not seize opportunity today will be unable to seize tomorrow's opportunity." We have an opportunity as voters to elect a governor for the state of Georgia, who, though lost the election in the last election cycle in 2018, is fighting back to become the governor of Georgia. Her name is Stacy Abrams. We may not have another opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to get this candidate into the governor's chair if we do not make the concerted effort to vote like our lives depend on it this election cycle, because quite frankly, it does. Now, in honor of her campaign initiative, Black Women for Stacey Abrams, I am doing a show based on that. This particular show is based on that initiative. I've invited two very special women to join me as we discuss the pros of electing this candidate for the betterment of Georgians. I had hoped to interview a few people canvassing for Stacey at this hour, but many are doing so tomorrow instead. So that's okay. I do believe that we have enough to work with today with my guests. Let me also state that I was not paid by Stacey Abrams' campaign to do this program on her behalf. I'm just a citizen who happens to be supportive of her candidacy, and I'm simply doing my part to move the needle in the right direction. Her direction, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, is the right direction. We all have our various reasons for choosing her, but for me, it is the need to preserve the women's right to reproductive health. Just at the outset, let me remind you, for those of you who don't know, there will be two debates which are scheduled for Monday, October 17th and Sunday, October 30th, both beginning at 7 p.m. between Stacy Abrams and Brian Kemp. I beg your pardon, Brian Kemp, the present governor of Georgia. The debate watch party, there will be a debate watch party at the illustrious Mari Events and Art Studio in Clayton County, Georgia. Most of the local networks will carry the debates. So it's going to be a very interesting debate, and you all want to be there. You do not want to miss this opportunity. So I would like to, at this time, quite frankly, introduce the person that we are supporting today. Stacy Abrams, beautiful woman, powerful woman, smart as a whip. I just want to give you a little bit background of her. Stacy Yvonne Abrams was born December 9, 1973. She's an American politician. She's a lawyer, voting rights activist, and author who served in the Georgia House of Representatives from 2007 to 2017, serving as minority leader from 2011 to 2017. She's a member of the Democratic Party, but of course, Abrams founded Fair Fight Action, an organization to address voter suppression in 2018. Her efforts, quite frankly, for those of you who don't know, you should know, it is her efforts that have been widely credited with boosting voter turnout in Georgia, including the 2020 presidential election when Joe Biden narrowly won the state. And in Georgia, and gave Democrats control of the Senate. It's because of her. It's because of her. As a hard-working sister. Please visit her website, her campaign website, stacyabrams.com, and learn more about her. Or you can even Google her as well and read more. There is just so much to know about this wonderful, wonderful person. and I'm excited to talk about her today. Now, joining me today to discuss this very exciting candidate is none other than Dr. Bola Mumuney Tilghman, the Community Coordinator and Civic Engagement Officer for the Nigerian Women for Progress Incorporated, NWFP, of which I'm a member. I'm a proud member. They're also known as the Mavericks. It's a collective aimed at growing the political awareness, involvement, and influence of Nigerians in the United States. Let me just tell you a little bit about this sister. Dr. Bola operates a non-profit organization, Millennium African Project, MAP, that seeks to educate children and college-age students in West Africa. How wonderful is that? By donating books, school uniforms, and desks to several K-12 schools and colleges in Lagos, Nigeria. She helps to bring schools up to date in technology and donates desktop and laptops to schools in Lagos, something so well needed. Applause, applause, applause. You're doing a marvelous job. She's on the board of director of J.D. Winston YMCA on Auburn Avenue and Glued Incorporated, Girls' Lives Ultimately Empowered Divinely. She is an avid supporter of Stacy Abrams. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my pleasure to add to the stream my dear friend, who else? Hello, Madame. Dr. Bola, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm very well. It's always a pleasure to see you. You know, you just light up the room when you step in.
You look like a queen that you are. You look beautiful.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something. You know, if I look like a queen, it's because I have some queens I'm looking up to, and you're one of them. And here we are. Thank you, my darling. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the work you're doing. We're going to get into it in a minute. I want to introduce another powerful sister. You know, we sisters, we are powerful people. And my second guest is Chief Dr. Nobantu Ankoanda. I am so proud of this sister. She went to Nigeria with me, and we made her a chief by 7 kings. I want you to know. Not chiefs. 7 kings made her a chief. So you can imagine who we have here. She started the Colored Greens Cultural Festival in the Metro Atlanta area, and presently the co-chair of the Metro Atlanta Council of Elders support team. She's a member of the African Community Centers and Us Lifting Us, and co-founded the Sustainable African Communities. She's an elder on the advisory board of Nsoroma School, a member of OMSI, yay, African Women Mobilization Commission, and presently an administrator consultant with Quilombo Academic and Cultural Institute, located in Decatur, Georgia. She is chair of the Metro Atlanta Pan-African Federalist Movement and the Secretary General of the Regional Pan-African Federalist Movement for North America. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome Dr. Nobantu. Doctor, how are you? Good to see you.
Awesome. Thank you for inviting me.
You know I have to invite you. You know I have to invite you. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh my goodness, absolutely, absolutely. Welcome both of you. So good to have you both here. You know, good guests are like fine daffodils. They shine better with exposure to light and bring joy to the senses. That's what you do. So we are truly happy to shine the light on you and delight in your presence today. I would like to start by asking Dr. Bola a question. You know, Dr. Bola, you work very closely with Stacy Abrams. We're so proud of you, and I'm sure she feels very honored to have you on her team. In 2018, I had the pleasure to canvass with you and the Mavericks for Stacy. And that was when she was running, obviously, for the governorship. We're not disappointed because we know she's going to get there this time. Although she did not triumph, she developed even more to be a well-qualified and dignified candidate for the governorship of this wonderful state. So let me ask you, why are you supporting Stacy Abrams? Why are you supporting Stacy Abrams?
Thank you, Dr. Ho, for such a question. Oh my God. Outside of the obvious things, she's black, she's smart, she's beautiful, she's a woman. We have all of that in common. But when you have someone that has vested interest in you, in your families, and your communities, of course I got to support the person because every agenda she had in 2018, even now, it's about moving our community forwards. There's so many things that are plaguing our communities right now. And she's focused, and I mean very, very focused on making sure when she gets in, and we know she's going to be our next governor, that
Yes,
she's
she
going to
has to be.
focus on all of this. So because I'm very action oriented and community conscious, that's why I'm able to relate to her and put all my support behind her. It matters to me because I have two sons that they are judged not by the color of their skin, but the content of their heart. So every time I think about what they go through, I get emotional. So that fuels me to go out and do more. I
Yes.
want them to be seen as a human being. But I read something lately that says, you know, our color is a weapon, and we cannot move away from it
Yes.
because we're black.
That's
And
right.
I said, oh my God. So that is the problem then. So how do we get them to see beyond our color? And I think that's what, no, I don't think I believe that's what she's doing. So because of our tenacity to say, I'm black, I'm female, people will say those are two strikes. But she said, those are pluses for me. And that's what I'm going to use to propel us to the next victory. So I'm excited to be supporting her and be behind her always. Thank you so much, though. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you. That. Those are powerful reasons. Powerful reasons. How about you, Dr. Nobantu? Why are you supporting Stacy as a black woman? Because the focus is black women supporting Stacey Abrams. Why are you supporting her?
Feel that in 2018, uh, the votes were stolen from her. She definitely should have been governor then. And the program that Brian Kemp put together to keep black and brown people from voting was critical in her not being elected. So I think it's her turn. It's time for a change. We need a better choice. We need someone that's going to protect the rights of women. And also because we need to bring more culture back into Georgia, and definitely doing that with the College and Culture Festival. And we want to make sure that she gives us that support. And we have to make sure that we hold her up and keep her accountable as we need to do with all politicians.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful reasons. Now, what I'm going to do is just pick on some specific areas that I know that she is so keen on bringing to light and solving. Okay? She's a fierce advocate for reproductive health and rights. You know, she stands for every woman's ability to make their own healthcare decisions, and she will fight to protect the life-saving care provided at Planned Parenthood health centers. Now, when she served in the state legislature, Abrams led the fight against the state's 20-week abortion ban. She also voted against a bill that funded fake women's health centers, which spread misconceptions and misinformation about abortions. I'm going to ask each one of you, are you concerned about abortion rights in Georgia? Dr. Bola?
Yes, thank you for that question. I am concerned about it. My 23 years old asked me, like, what is the discussion? What's going on with abortion law? I said a lot of things going on, but the main thing for me, it's like I get to decide what I do with my body, not anybody else. So with that said, and I think that's where most of us, it's not whether you agree with abortion or not. It's the fact that we have a lot of white male telling us what and when and how we can use our bodies. And for me, that is definitely a no-no. If when the COVID first started, you see a lot of white males saying the government not to tell me what to do, whether to take it or not. And that's what is so ironic. That if they didn't want the COVID shot, even though we know for a fact it's going to save all our lives, they still don't want the government to tell them what to put in their body. But then they're going to tell us women
Yes.
You know what? We're gonna tell you what you can do or you cannot do with your body. So and if you look at it outside of Texas, I think Georgia has the most crazy law as relates to abortion. They're gonna criminalize doctors and nurses and caregivers. It's like what century are we in? So for me, that's part of the reason that I know I have to have a voice. I have to do everything I can in my power to make sure we get out here. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Yes, that's fantastic. How about you, Dr. Nobantu? Dr. Nobantu, are you with us? Okay, you kind of got frozen a little bit there. What are your thoughts on abortion law in Georgia and how you think that perhaps Stacy will make a difference on behalf of Georgian women? Okay, you're kind of frozen. Well, we're going to keep talking until she becomes until she's unfrozen. You know, one of the things that I find very interesting is that trying to tell women how to control their bodies, but because they want to protect the unborn child. Do you understand? There are so many reasons why women need abortion. It doesn't have to do with just okay, Dr. Nobantu, go ahead now, and I'll say what I have to say a little later. You're okay now. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm okay now.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Women right of their I think it's a double switch sword that in our community they're to our young women, so they abortions. There's not enough support in the community. Women get positions given the support that they.
Okay, Dr. Nobantu, try and go out and come back in because we're not hearing you. Okay, your voice is cutting in and out, in and out. So I'm going to bring her back in as soon as she comes back in. But one of the things that I find very interesting is that we are trying to tell women that we want them not to have any abortions at any, I'm not a person who says, oh, just go out here willy-nilly and have abortion, as a means of birth control. You have to be responsible adults. You understand what I'm saying? But what I don't appreciate is that there are other reasons why women need abortions. A topic, pregnancies. It could be life or death. You understand? But when there are women who are going right now trying to get an abortion or because their life depends on it. They have to wait until they almost bleed to death. Can you imagine that? When is it that America has become a place that women go to die? That doesn't make sense. We can't control guns. We refuse to control guns that take lives, but we want to control a woman. Because you're supportive of life. If you're supportive of life, then let's do something about these guns that take lives that are already here. Anyway, let me bring Dr. Nobantu. Come on back in.
Amen. Amen.
I'm hoping we can hear you now, Dr. Nobantu.
Okay, it was very difficult to hear you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead now.
My position is should the rights of their own body. That Brian Kemp has done to eliminate that women who did, and the fact that doesn't care whether they've been raped or just different things that happen to women that have solo. So I think Stacey make a change once she governor. So and also we have to support our young women, particularly so they wouldn't have to get to abortion. There needs to be more price of programs for our young women that goes themselves and or they show their in this society and how they want to present women in our community. So a lot of work that needs to be done in the community as well. don't have to have someone going to using that as a tool for that may rape or other things.
Okay, you know what? Um, Dr. Nobantu, you say that you're having difficulty hearing me, hearing us. Are you having difficulty hearing us? Okay, well, technology being what it is, not everything always goes as well as you would hope, you know. So we're going to bring her in as soon as possible. But about this abortion thing, several women have already died, trying to get help. Can you imagine? And I think it's wrong to assume that men support, this ban, because it impacts them as well.
Right.
It impacts them as well. And I think that the worst part of it as well is the fact that even in the case of rape or incest, a little child cannot get help. And the person who raped her has the right to go and challenge an abortion. That child, the whole thing is so messed up. I don't understand it. I just don't understand how this is supposed to be helpful for society. I just don't get it. But I want us to move on and pick another topic.
I'm sorry, Dr. Ho. I want to go back to what you said, which I would love for you to expound on.
Okay.
You said, and I've heard that too a lot, that this is really half about us, but more about them, because they are afraid that they're becoming the minority. So they want to really make sure that women, they happy with it, whether they want it or not. So like everything else, we are always in the crossfire of somebody else's agenda. So I'm so glad you pointed that out, that it's always about preserving who they have or who they want to be, the control they want to keep having on all of us. And for that control to happen, it's going to have to happen through their descendants. But when their descendants are not being born, guess what happens? Well, they cannot stop God's movement, because God, the truth is happening, and God
That's
is
right.
Thank you
That's
so
right.
much for bringing that up. Thank you so much.
Yes, you can't control what God does, unless you're God. You know what I'm saying? You just absolutely can't do that to women. You just can't. The fact that our sisters are dying, to have children that they don't want. And Dr. Nobantu just said something which is true. In the black community, many of these young people don't have support. What are they going to do with all these babies? Who's going to take care of these babies? We're not taking care of the ones who are here. You see, but we want to bring more with no support. And if you look at Georgia, no health, they wouldn't expand health insurance for everyone. You see, Medicaid expansion is not there. So how are these women supposed to take care of all these babies? Dr. Nobantu, hopefully you can join us again and see if you can hear. Just speak up just a little bit more on this topic before we go to the other one, so I make sure that we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh yes, clearly now, clearly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, what I was trying to say, in the black community, we need rites of passage programs for our girls,
Yes.
so they can make better decisions
Yes.
on how they deal with themselves and learning more about themselves. And so I hope that they don't have to get to the point that they have to have an abortion. But we understand that incest and rape is prevalent, and they definitely need to have a right to abort if this comes to those kind of situations.
That's right. Because unless we can actually provide them with assistance, you are really, really creating mass problems for the families. And what I fear the most is the innocent lives that will be abused when they're not wanted. Do you understand? You have people are being forced to have babies that are defective, and they're not even getting care right now. There are not that many places that take care of people with challenges, physical challenges and mental challenges. But you want us to just have them, I wonder if these legislators are asking for these children to be brought to them. Perhaps they have an idea how they can raise these babies. You know, that's an idea.
I
You know,
love you, Doctor. Oh, I love it.
if you believe in anything, then you must be ready to take care of them. You know, if that is your agenda. You know. So anyway,
But
the
that,
other,
you know, more will not doctor
okay, we're still having challenges.
hospitals.
Okay, she's going to come back again once her situation is a little bit better. I think it's maybe in the area that she is, you know, that she's having these challenges, that's causing these challenges. So, but let's move on. Let's talk about the fact that she wants to expand Georgians' access to health care and not restrict it. You know, she has sponsored legislation to expand Medicaid in Georgia, and she vows to make it her first priority as governor. Medicaid expansion is a vital step to bring health care to nearly 500,000 Georgians, keep the doors open at rural hospitals, and ensure women have access to the care they need. How important do you think this is, Dr. Bola? Expansion of Medicare.
Oh my God, Doc. It is so very important. I can't even put emphasis on it enough. We are supposed to be one of the most global, economic, and have we can name all our qualities and how we qualify to be the world leader. But
Yes.
still, we have people that don't have the minimum basic requirement of meeting health care.
Mhm.
They don't have access to healthcare. And Lord forbid you live in rural area, you might as well forget it. I mean, since we've had this governor in place, there have been several hospitals that are closed
Yes.
because they don't have that expansion. So, and what Stacey is saying is that what makes anybody better than anybody else, regardless of your status, what your zip code, your area code, it should not matter when it comes to your health.
That's
We
right.
are all God's children, and
Yes.
we all deserve to get that care,
That's right.
especially for United States of America. For me, it's so unconscionable. We have all of these senators and House of Reps that we pay, our taxes pay for their health care,
That's
and
right.
then they denying us the right to have the same thing. That's unfair. So, and that's why I know when Miss Stacy gets in, it's not if, it's when he gets in. Everybody's going to be able to get the minimum basic
That's
health
right.
care they need for them to be able to function and live there. Thank you, Dr.
Yes.
O.
Thank you so much. It's such a critical thing. How about you, Dr. Nobantu? What do you think about the expansion of Medicaid? Can you hear me?
Yes.
You know, the expansion of Medicaid. You want to speak on that? You know, one of the things that I find, I know some individuals who have actually died, you know, for things that's, you know, they could have survived, but they postpone going to the hospital because they don't have insurance. When you go to emergency, you know, they tell you, oh, just go to emergency room. What a nightmare that is. You know, you come out with thousands of dollars in debt just for going for one little check. You know, I've had a situation where I went to emergency room and the bill was like, what? What did you do? You didn't even touch me. Do you understand? Why are you charging this kind of money? So for some people, they'd rather be sick, you know, whereas if they have this Medicaid expansion, they'll be able to go and take care of, be seen. There are many people who have rotten teeth, in pain, you know, and, you know, popping pain pills, which creates another health, you know, problems, and they can't go be seen. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. Dr. Nobantu, your thoughts on Medicaid expansion, and I'm so happy that she is pushing for that.
Yes. When Brian Kemp, when he stopped, he didn't move forward with the Medicaid expansion. It caused so many problems in the community. So many people right now cannot get any service for their health issues today,
Yes.
right now, because he didn't expand that Medicaid. So we're going to be suffering for some time. I'm just praying that getting the sister Stacey Abrams in will backtrack and correct that, because I don't know how we can get to the federal government to give us another opportunity to expand the Medicaid.
That's right. I hate to say it this way, but I tell you the truth. It's now or never. It's now or never. For those of us who want to sit this out, don't. This is too critical. We don't have to come out just when it's a presidential election. This is very important because we're selecting individuals who will legislate our lives. So if you think things are bad now, it's only going to get worse, because when you put the wrong person in office, you're giving more time for their agenda to be mitigated against you. You see what I'm saying? So it's so important. And I put Stacey's picture up there just to remind people we are supporting this powerful sister. And not only is she going to make a difference, she has the capacity to speak, to enunciate, to articulate her vision. You don't have to worry what she stands for. You don't, because she lets you know right off the bat what she's all about. All right. So let's talk about something else that I think is so important that she's for. I think as an African American woman, you know, Stacey's election will make a U.S. history. You know, it will really be fantastic for the African American people when this woman becomes governor. Yes, she's not just a governor for the African American people, she's the governor for all people. But all these segments are all exalting what she means to them. Well, this is, what do you think it means to us? Dr. Nobantu, let me start with you. You know, I had the honor of taking you to Nigeria where you were conferred that chieftaincy title. I talked about it before. But you are a powerful community organizer and educator in the African American community. What is the significance of her candidacy to you, particularly the young African American students that you deal with on a daily basis? Can you hear me? The question was to
It's
you,
difficult
Dr.
to hear you. Can you hear me?
Dr. Bola, do you hear me well?
Yes, I do, very clearly.
I hear you now.
Okay. All right. So what significance do you think her candidacy will have on the African American community, particularly our young people who have to look at this woman as their governor?
I think that the significance is that it will give us some hope for a better way of our community growing and expanding into a community where we can heal ourselves mentally and physically. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that with our Collard Green Culture Fest, we have a wellness pavilion where we can help people learn how they can heal themselves traditionally. Because if we're going to have this blockage on the Medicaid, there's something that we have to do ourselves. And I hope that Stacey Abrams will support the healers in this community, because there's a vast number of naturopaths and healers in this community that can support our citizens who are unable to get the health care that they need. And, you know, the health care in the hospital industry, there's more people dying in the hospital industry than heart attacks, diabetes, and everything else. So it's a lot of things that need to change in that system, but at the same time, we do have solutions where people are being healed without pharmaceutical companies taking our people out. So I think that we need to look at traditional ways that we've known for years, our grandmothers and from many of the healers on the continent of Africa. We know how to heal ourselves. Food is our medicine, and we just have to work on that. Even though the government is doing the opposite, they're not there to heal us. We have to learn to heal ourselves.
That's very interesting, and I think frankly it's imperative to have somebody in office who sees things like has a general concept about our humanity, but also looks at the needs of our people. We need to elect candidates who will reflect the communities that they serve. You know, if elected, I believe that Stacy Abrams will be the first black woman governor in this nation's history, period. How incredible would that be? You know, with one of the highest black populations in this country, it's past time that the people of Georgia saw themselves reflected in those who lead them. You know, I mean, I'm not saying it only has to be an African person, you know, that has to be in leadership, you know, but at some point, we have to be reflected in the whole scheme of things. And that's why I'm so excited about her candidacy, because I see me in her, you know. And I think her platform serves me mentally, spiritually, and I know it will also physically. This is so important. And I'm going to say, I'm going to call my sisters out there, black, white, purple, or green. Don't sit this one out. You can't. You can't sit this one out. Our mere survival depends on this. I'm telling you, if you go down the line, do you know how many black women will be lost to abortion, doing the local abortion, you know, doing whatever they can. Even the children. I can't forget the 11-year-old who had to travel out of Ohio to go and get an abortion after being raped. And then you still have the Republican Party saying, well, you know, it's about the children of God, children of God. Well, what about the child who's 11? Is she not a child of God? Does she not have a right to have a future? Why would you stall her? And why do you think it's okay for a woman to give up her baby? Why? Why do you even think that? Why do you think it's okay? Oh, let them have these babies, you know, we'll have somebody else adopt them. If you give up a child, you don't forget that child. That thing lives with you forever. You always will remember the child you gave away. Why do you want that to be the destiny of women? It is cruel. It's unkind. And we must remember that if we support this woman, Stacy Abrams, we don't have to worry about that. She's a sister who believes in the needs of women. I'm telling you. And if you think this is an opportunity for you to complain because you're mad about something, this is not it. This is not the time. There's time to complain. You can't be one issue voter. Look at the whole scheme of things. Your decision impacts the lives of many women and many girls. So you really don't have the luxury to say, well, she can do this, she can do that, she doesn't do that. It's not all about you. It's about us. So we really, truly must consider supporting this woman, because if we let our prejudices cost us this woman again, just look at where you're going to be 4 years from now. They're taking us backwards. They're taking us backwards. I'm trying to find the manifesto of Brian Kemp. Same thing as last time, and it was never implemented. Sometimes they think we just need to hear some good stuff, and then they walk away. I'm going to take a quick break and play a video about one of the programs that we have that I think that people should be aware of, because, you know, when you love humanity wherever you find them. I just want to tell you a little quick story before I show this. There's this little child in the IDPS camp in Maiduguri, Nigeria. He had an ear infection, and the infection was so bad the poor baby couldn't even look at you. I mean, and you could see the pain. So a woman sponsored him, and they took him to the hospital. They helped with the ear infection, took him out to eat. He's never been in a restaurant before. He was just amazed when they were talking about having taking a picture. By the time they got ready to take a picture, he had already emptied his plate. His mother had never been in a restaurant and thought that it would be really very important for her not to come in because she's poor, so that she doesn't deserve to be in there. But fortunately, they convinced her it's okay. And then this little boy is going to school now. They registered him for school, whereas in the past he will run alongside other students and walk with them to the school, only to be disappointed because he can't go in because he can't afford it. So now he's been registered for school. So that is the beauty.
African Women Mobilization Commission, child sponsorship program. Here at OMSI, we believe that every child deserves a chance to thrive, no matter who they are or where they live, and that opportunities help a child to develop and build precious imagination. A healthy and imaginative mind can see the possibilities of the future. And a child with a future can weather the storms of life if given the right tools and the chance. Sponsoring a child helps a child to eat, get an education, have good health care, and gain a friend and mentor in you. I know you want to know more. Sponsor a child by visiting AfricanWomenCommission.net. After all, a child is waiting. Register to meet your sponsored child today.
Yes, indeed. If we're going to talk about sponsoring children, then it is, taking care of children, then we have to take care of all children who need help. So anyway, we're back again. Hello, Dr. Nobantu. Oh, this is much better. We can see you better now. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Now, I have a question that I want to ask both of you. Why do you consider her? I know that we all have our individual preferences, okay? Why do you think that she is the most qualified candidate between the two, Brian Kemp and herself? Why, in your opinion, is she the best candidate?
May I respond to that, Dr. Ho?
Yes, please do.
Well, I always look at somebody's background, their upbringing, and see how they're able to relate to where I'm going through. So for me, that is important. When I campaigned for Stacy in 2018, we had a team of younger people to do a lot of videos, and that was the first question they asked us. And I said to them that, which I'm repeating to you again today, that if you cannot relate to my plague, or better yet, the plague of my people, then you cannot represent it. If you are foreign to what my people are going through. And I said to people, this is not even about me. To God be the glory, God has blessed. It's not even about my two sons, but for me, I'm always for our bigger community.
That's right.
What affects one should affect all of us.
That's
and
right.
that's where Stacy Abrams is always coming from. I know what you're going through. I can relate to where you are.
Yes.
So, but if you're foreign and if you say, what are you talking about? It's not that bad, then you cannot relate to it. Because it is that bad.
Yes.
Our needs are brave. And we need someone that's going to come in without passion and compassion. You know what President Obama always says? We are the people that we've been waiting for. We don't need anybody else to come rescue us. So we are it. And you said it, so it's going to take all of us together. Thank you so much for that beautiful question, Dr. Ho.
Thank you, my darling, for that wonderful response. Dr. Nobantu, how about you? Your thoughts?
I think that Stacey Abrams would be the right person for this position because he will help us to empower our community. And that's not what Brian Kemp, he's not interested in empowering the Black community. That's not a part of his interest. And I think that if we don't have Stacey Abrams, we're just going to fall backwards. And we got to move forward. And the only way we can move forward is having representing us throughout the country, actually, and be an example for what can be done in other countries and other young women to run for government in other states in the United States, because I think that we can do a better job than some of these men who really don't care. They just don't care. They're all about the money. You know, that's what they follow is the money.
Yes.
And then the care for our people, humanity, not there.
Yes.
But she brings all of that to the table, and that's why we need her to be the governor.
That's right. That's right. You know, somebody asked me, this is a guy an African American gentleman. He said, well, what is she going to do for men? You know, what is she going to do for the black men? You know, and so he gave me a litany of all the challenges that African Americans face in America, in Georgia. Well, I certainly appreciate that. I know that there are lots of problems, but Stacy does have a plan for African American men in Georgia. You know, as far as she's concerned, African American men deserve leadership that sees them and serves them and believes in them. She's committed to investing in black men, their families, and their businesses by providing opportunities for small businesses and apprenticeships, expanding access to safe and affordable education, and focusing resources on violent crime prevention and law enforcement accountability. She has that plan. So my thing is, when somebody asks that question, don't look at what your Fox News is saying. Don't focus on what your buddies are saying, people who don't want to take the time and learn. Go to the website. Go to her website. Or the question you're asking, she's got it right there. You can find answers to your questions, you know. So some of these people, now that I don't know what you guys think about some of the disgruntlement that some people in the African community saying that she doesn't have a black agenda, and there are quite a number of individuals who are demanding that she should have a reparation and as such that they may not support. And my thing is, if she doesn't have a black agenda, does Brian Kemp? Which one does he have? If you're supporting him, or if you want to sit back, do you think after you sitting back and not going out there to vote, and Brian Kemp is the governor going again, what is that going to do for you?
It's going to do nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's a question we must ask ourselves. If you want to point fingers at her, she's not doing this, she's not doing this. Okay, the question is, what is Brian Kemp doing for you?
Exactly.
Dr. Bola, go ahead and pick that up.
And that's a very valid question. What is it doing? And again, just like you said, I appreciate our black men wanting to know. And she has pretty much put forth the effort to say, I want to meet with you. I want to talk to you. She actually has a black man agenda. She's been going to the barber shop. She's been having, we have what we call tonight. That's combination of sorority and fraternities, which I'm part of. She has met with all of us. She has met with Justin. So she's saying, we are in this fight together. Because think about it. So if our women are not well, our men can be well. So they have to be more sensitive to what we're going through. And that can be their fight too. That can be what they can take on. She is very into justice. You know, how our black men being treated. This is the color we cannot get away from. Can this be beyond our color? So if anybody out there wants to know, what can she do for me? What did President Kennedy say? Don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what can you do for your country. How can you be part of the movement to make sure we get our in? And then we always sit at the table, because that's what she's asking. She has asked every single gender, ethnicity at the table. It says, this is not my campaign. It's all our campaign.
That's right.
Let's sit at the table. Let's see what we need to do to move this state forward and the country also. Thank you. That's
right. Excellent response. Thank you so much for that. Dr. Nobantu, your thoughts on that?
They need to
stop some of the negativity. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, they need to stop complaining and start coming forward to Dr. Abrams and say, this is what we want to see happen. You got to make it happen. You got to make demands, you make suggestions. You just can't sit back and just complain. It's not going to get us anywhere. And then if we touch on what's happening with the folks that are incarcerated because of possession of marijuana, you know, I know she supports the, I guess it is, to stop the decriminalization of people with possession of marijuana. And you look at other people who have these shops now, and they're making millions of dollars while our people are sitting incarcerated in jail. And I'm glad that Biden made that decision to pardon one of those men who've been sitting in jail for years for just possession. And then you got other people that look like us who are making millions of dollars doing the same exact thing. And I know that Stacey Abrams support stopping and supporting the movement of getting our folks out of jail who are sitting in there for possession. And they can get out and they work with jobs and go to school, you know, and have a life with their families.
That's right. That's right. It doesn't help anybody to complain. You know, if you're not awful, I always use that proverb: "What you seek, so shall you find." What is it you want? Whatever it is you want, you have to go out there and fight for it. You know, you cannot just spend so much of your time complaining about what other people are not doing, but you're not really willing to go out there and fight for what you want. Part of fighting for what you want is putting somebody in office that will help you get what it is you want. Dr. Bola, if anybody wishes to get in touch with Stacey's campaign besides the website, is there any other way? How can people canvass for her?
Absolutely. I live in DeKalb County, and if you go online and Google DeKalb County, then it will give you a list of different events that we're having. There's canvassing that's been going on since the end of September. Every Saturday and every Sunday, they're asking people to come out to the office on Wesley Chapel and Snap in the Road. That's Stacey's office in DeKalb County, one of the two anyway. So they're just asking people to come out if you have 1 hour, 2 hours to volunteer to go. And they're asking you to do texting and phone calls and whatnot. So we need everybody. And that's what she's saying. It's going to take all of us, every single one of us. Even if you're not old enough to vote, come out and call people, canvass with your peers, with your parents. Just get out and do something. Because it's going to take all of us doing that. Thank you so much, Dr. Hurd.
All hands on deck, my sister. All hands on deck. This is to me. I mean, you know, I've always voted in almost all elections, but particularly presidential. But this to me is even more important than the presidential election, because these legislators, they are doing some stuff, you know, and we cannot continue to wait for the president to come. The president can do just so much, but it is up to us to make sure that whoever is in the local government is doing what we want them to do. And the only way you can do that is to vote. Do you have any last thoughts, Dr. Nobantu?
I'm glad that Dr. Bola brought up what's happening in terms of campaign, because in some of the radio stations people who do not live here saying that there's not enough activity going on in Georgia fighting for Stacey Abrams or interested in voting. So I'm glad to hear that there's a lot of work going on. And I'd like to get more information about how I can get a part of that as well. I've been busy with the festival and other things, but it's critical to get people, get some of my women organizations to find out what we can do to support the campaign.
Yes, Dr. Bola, could you give her that information again? Give the address of where they can go and get it.
Yes, if you log on to DeKalb Dems, and you will see a list of all the events that we have going on. So just
DeKalb Dems.
DeKalb
Democrats.
DeKalb County Democrats. Right.
Okay.
Just Google and it will take you straight to our website, and you will see all of the events are listed, and you just plug in where you put it. Absolutely.
Okay. Listen, what is always a pleasure to have wonderful, powerful sisters, because you guys do so much in the community, and we're so grateful for all that you do. But I just want to give my own closing remarks. The Dumodo Nugget today that I shared earlier is a Somali proverb, and let me repeat what it said. He who does not seize opportunity today will be unable to seize tomorrow's opportunity. You only get a chance to get it right once, twice. By the third time it's over. This is the second time. We don't need to get to the third time. We have got to do what we must do. This election is like no other. We can't go around saying it's hard for us to do anything because of who we are, because of the color of our skin, because of our gender. It is our responsibility, no matter what our condition in the world, to be the instrument for the change we want and need. Whatever it is we focus our mind upon grows. But that growth cannot come with the wrong person in office directing the ship. The key to our growth is to put the right leader in office. No one of us has any more difficulty than anyone else. If you have a leg, you can walk. It may take you longer than the person who drives. If you want to get to vote and transportation is your issue, there are so many people you can call, I'm sure, that will tell you where to go. or they can pick you up. Whatever your needs are, let it be known that you want to vote. You will find people who are willing to help you go and vote. All right? No one of us can sit this one out. Even though there are obstacles put in our way to keep many people of color from voting, we must move into a deeper understanding of our own ability to change that condition, to push it out of the way, to weave and bob and get away from the problems. We can manifest our desire into reality. For those who wish to undermine a woman's right to freedom, it is important to know that women bring to life what is planted through the nurturing power of our love. That's who we are. If we want something to succeed, a woman will make it succeed. If we want prosperity, health, or other good tidings in our lives, and that of our loved ones and communities, allow a woman to grow. Don't tie her down. We don't go after what we want by shoving and pushing, but by demanding just mere respect and the ability to do and go where we want to go and be who we want to be. We move into our second place and space, and we use our minds and our eyes. We can love ourselves into action so that everyone understands that we cannot be denied our rights. We are biters of change by all positive means necessary. There is no better time, ladies and gentlemen, than this election cycle to prove it. Please, please go out and vote. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Ndumodu Show with Dr. O, or visit our Facebook page, The Ndumodu Show. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. We want to see you next week when we interview the president of the Women's Federation for World Peace, Mrs. Angelica Sales. Thank you, my sisters, for being here. Thank you for another memorable show. And may God bless you wherever you are. That we say in my language, may you not stumble in your journey today. Thank you so very much for being here. And thank you all of you wherever you are and you joined the show. Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Amen. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
Bless you. Okay.